Benedict lived 480 to 530 AD, and Gregory, born 540, Pope from 590 to 604 AD. At about the same time that Justinian was reviving the Roman Empire in the East, two young men from some of Rome's oldest and most important families were reviving the church in the West. In many ways, what they did would have more impact than all of the wars and conquests of Justinian. Benedict was the son of a rich aristocratic Roman family. When he was still a young man, his family sent him to Rome for schooling. Benedict had grown up in the country, and he was a committed Christian. In the years after the sack of Rome by the Vandals, Rome had become a more and more lawless town. There were frequent robberies and murders and all sorts of other evil deeds. The wickedness of Rome shocked Benedict. After only a short stay, he fled the city and began to live the life of a hermit in the Sabine Hills. In the hills, he devoted himself to prayer and reading the Bible. Gradually, people heard about a quiet, simple, good man who lived alone in the hills not far from Rome. As his fame spread, others began to join him. After a while, Benedict found the growing group of followers to be distracting and annoying, but he realized that he could not just send them away. He also realized that a group of men living together would find life easier and safer than a hermit living alone would. Eventually, Benedict and his followers found a place to settle down on top of a mountain about halfway between Rome and Naples, a place called Monte Cassino. They tore down an old Roman temple to Apollo and used the stones to build a large building with rooms for all of them, the first Benedictine monastery. At the same time, Benedict decided to write out a set of rules which would govern the lives of those who lived in the monastery. These rules were very detailed and gave directions about what the monks should wear, what they should eat, and how they should organize all the hours of the day. The rules were summed up in 3 vows which Benedict asked each monk to take when he joined the community. These were the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Benedict wrote out his rules in 529 AD, the same year in which Justinian published his Code of Laws. One of the earliest Benedictine monks was a man named Gregory. Like Benedict, he was from an old and wealthy Roman family. He received an excellent education and quickly rose to prominence as a magistrate. At the age of 30, the Emperor Justinian appointed him prefect, sort of a cross between mayor and governor of Rome. A short time later, Gregory's parents died and he inherited a large amount of money. He had grown tired of politics and government. He used all the money to found 6 new monasteries patterned after the rules drawn up by Benedict and then joined one in Rome himself. But Gregory was not left to lead a quiet life in the monastery. The Pope in Rome needed someone to go as his representative to Constantinople and handle business with the emperor. Gregory took the job and spent 7 years working in Constantinople. When he returned, he hoped once again to return to quiet life in the monastery. Because of his experience, the monks at his monastery in Rome elected him as their leader, or abbot. Sometime after his return to Rome, plague broke out in the city. Many people died and many more were sick. Gregory organized a procession through the city to call the people to repentance and to beg God to end the plague. As the procession approached the tomb of Hadrian, Gregory saw a vision of the archangel Gabriel with a flaming sword which he sheathed as a sign that the plague was at an end. From that day on, Hadrian's tomb was called the Castle of the Holy Angel, or in Italian, Il Castello di Sant'Angelo. Later in the Middle Ages, it became the Fortress of the Popes. Today it is a museum of the Vatican in Rome. A short time later, when the Pope died of the plague, all of the leaders of the church remembered the excellent work which Gregory had done and his devotion to the monastic life of prayer and Bible study. Gregory was chosen to be the new Pope. As Pope, Gregory did much to promote the founding of new monasteries all over Europe. He sent missionaries to most of the Germanic kingdoms in northern Europe to found new monasteries and convert as many of the Germans as possible to Christianity. He used his experience as an administrator to reorganize the affairs of the church so that they were more efficient. He is also remembered for his organization of church music into the form we call today a Gregorian chant.